All right. Welcome everyone and welcome to the Racing Lines Purple Sector. And why we have a Purple Sector this Wednesday because F1 Spanish Grand Prix was last weekend. Of course, I'm with my good buddies right here. Yamboy is already on his new studio. Of course, Miles, as always, and Andy still in New Zealand. So, unahin ko yung pinakamalayo. Di, how are you, Di?
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, kung saan kayo.
Good night.
Welcome to the Purple Sector.
Yeah!
Good night para sa akin.
Yeah.
It's 12 midnight dito. Well, half past 12 dito. Anyway,
Yeah.
good evening. Kumusta kayo lahat? Welcome
Yep.
to the Purple Sector, the Racing Lines. Bi-monthly, somewhere kung may race, talk show.
Yeah.
Reviewing the current events in Formula One and everything in between. Join the conversation down below
Yep,
sa chat
please do,
or sa
please do.
comments wherever.
All right.
Please join the conversation, shout outs, everything else.
Yeah.
Let us know. Join the conversation. Like, share, and subscribe to the
Of
Racing
course.
Line.
We are also simultaneously airing on live on TV. Yum! Congratulations on this
Bye!
brand new studio of yours. Miss ko na yung katabi ko dito
Nalo
eh.
studio.
Well, good evening ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the Purple Sector. Ito na naman tayo kasi kakatapos lang nung 6th race of the season,
Yep,
which is
round number 6.
Barcelona Prix. And then, very exciting kasi supposed to be boring si Barcelona pero
Hindi
after
I
the race,
love it. I love it.
yeah, pero usually it's boring. Pero ngayon,
yeah.
well, I have a tribute nga right here. As you can see, it's Petronas cap and a
Yeah.
Petronas helmet.
Yeah.
Because I think they're back, di ba?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
they are.
Oh, happy si
Yeah,
Jong.
I'm very happy. Miles, how are you? Up, audio, Miles. Wait. Miles, where's your audio?
Okay.
Yun.
Sorry about that.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. Good evening, guys. Good evening sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa kanilang mga bahay, sa kanilang mga
Cellphones.
cellphones, laptops, or anywhere. Welcome to the Purple Sector. Tonight, we're going to discuss recently concluded
Spanish Grand Prix.
Spanish Grand Prix in Catalonia circuit.
Yeah.
So, to start it off,
Alright.
Start it off.
Jong,
Yep, let's go to the qualifying sessions. So, medyo as usual. Andy, have you seen the qualifying session?
Yes, I did. Very, very interesting qualifying session as usual. And yes, going back to Yamboy's point earlier, we've cut this Spanish Grand Prix hasn't always been the most interesting. Let's be honest.
This one particular Grand Prix?
No,
No.
Years naman.
Previous
Ah,
races.
years,
one.
yeah.
Except-
Yeah.
Except this one.
Yeah, except this one.
But again, we can see the shake up of the classification as below. Still, we're gonna start with the bottom kasi, well, at least we can talk about them naman. Kawawa naman. Aston Martin and Williams still
It's
struggling
not
at the
here.
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so far down we can't even see them. This is the top 10. Aston Martin with their let's say controversial upgrades that they brought this weekend to the racetrack. They have gone from the pink Mercedes to the green Red Bull. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's really worked in their favor.
Yeah.
Both Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll out in Q1. Ouch. So, kawawa yung mga Aston Martin fans natin dyan. Konting tiis na naman for another weekend to forget. And then just working our way up the order. Slightly up the order, very surprisingly, Fernando Alonso hometown hero
Last
out in
on the grid.
Q1. Aray.
Diba? Last on the grid.
Yep.
Tama,
Ended
diba?
up.
He was
Yep,
last
Yep,
on
he
the grid, yeah.
ended up dead
started
last because
20th.
I think he took a new power unit. Yeah, he took a new power unit.
Yeah.
Kasi. But in quali, he was already out in Q1 pa lang, sa quali pa lang mismo. So that was an early sign of things to come. Or was it? We'll find out later on. Stick around for that.
Yeah. Miles,
Yes.
McLaren, Mercedes, Lando Norris could have been the 10th, but the problem is na over track
Track
limit
limits.
siya. Yeah, he was in over track
He
limit,
went over
so
track limits. Na-delete yung kanyang time for
na-delete
the,
yung time niya. Yeah.
for the Q2. So, he cannot progress to Q3. And if you could see, di ba, sabay-sabay tayo nag-monitor or nanood ng qualifying. And I made a somehow prediction kung sino yung
Oh,
top
yeah.
six, diba?
Bold prediction.
Actually, I was very happy that I got it right, except nagkarambol lang si George Russell, si Checo Perez, and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, in the
Diba, sabi ko, bantayan ninyo si Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas from the Alfa Romeo running a Ferrari engine, he made it to 7th. So, he is the man to watch out. So, tingnan natin ha. I have something to say regarding Valtteri Bottas during the race. Kung ano yung
Yeah.
nangyari.
And
Okay.
Max Verstappen, he was out of the grid. In the racetrack already, it was already a checkered flag. He was clocking in way faster than Charles Leclerc. Kaso, parang may problema yung kanyang engine na nag. So that could have been, I think, a good
Yes.
run.
Actually, he was having a good run. Purple na yung mga linya eh.
Yes,
And
yun
then
na,
after that, tawag siya, he lost power. So actually hindi niya na kumpleto yung
yung
the
run,
end
yeah,
of
yun na nga,
Q3.
yun na nga.
Box na siya. So sayang, pero anyway, I think mas confident siya sa second kasi cleaner air kasi yun or cleaner side kasi yun eh. Yun ang sabi niya. Pero dito sa and also for Charles si Charles nag-turn pa ito ba eh, 'di ba? Umikot pa ito.
Oh yes,
Si
tama,
Charles
tama,
Leclerc.
tama.
Before
Yep.
the end of, 'di ba?
Spun.
Before the end of Q3, so kalahati pa lang ng Q3 time, nag-spun si Charles Leclerc and then after that, recovery driving, number 1 siya. Itong si
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz naman, nasa kanya yung second sana, nasingitan siya ni Max Verstappen. Pero one thing to note here is medyo consistent na itong team mo, si Mercedes. At least nasa top 5, top 6 na sila itong consistent na sila 2 race in a row na. So, yan. Sana tuloy-tuloy na. Kasi pangit yung dalawang teams lang nag-aaway eh. Mas maganda,
yes.
mas marami. Kasi iba-iba talaga yung yung pwedeng maging result for the race.
Yeah.
So, yun.
Okay.
That's
so now, no more dramas in the qualifying. So let's go to the race where the action is here. So this is the starting. Kita nyo kanina na nasa likod talaga si Carlos Sainz. Sorry, Checo Perez pala. But para sa akin dito, look at the two Mercedes. Talaga sila ang meron na talaga silang power.
Yes. You cannot deny that. Like this one, sa start pa lang, na-overtake na kagad ni George Russell si Sainz, di ba? So
Yep.
from 4th, naging 3rd na siya. And then for turn number 1, naunahan na din ni Checo si Sainz. Kaya yun na, dyan na nag-umpisa yung saya.
Yes. Then,
Yeah.
the first incident right here is the incident of K-Mag and Lewis Hamilton. So, if you could remember this one, ito yung ito yung naka-burst ng tire ni Lewis Hamilton. So, he went to the pits and there was a radio. May na yan. Ito muna tayo. There was a radio call after Lewis Hamilton pit, change ng tires. Sinabi
A
niya
very
sa kanyang
interesting
team,
radio call.
why don't we preserve the engine for the next race? Di ba? That was lap number 2, if I can remember. Tama ba, Myles, no?
Yeah, actually the incident between Lewis Hamilton and K-Mag of the Haas happened
First lap,
on
first.
lap. Okay,
Opening
first
lap, yeah.
Okay. Lewis Hamilton somehow understeered on that corner. So, medyo nauna siya, medyo pumasok siya agad sa corner, and the Haas of K-Mag suddenly closed in kasi akala niya makukuha niya si Hamilton. But
Yeah.
no investigation was made. So, it was a racing incident, and somehow ang resulted to the puncture of Lewis Hamilton na medyo ano bang term ito? Yung medyo
Frustrate.
nawalan siya ng gana.
Yeah, na-frustrate siya.
He was frustrated. Okay, thank you John for that. He was frustrated because ano pang mangyayari sa akin kasi when he went to the pits to change tires.
He came out number 19.
And somehow did some adjustments on the front wing. So he took the time on the pits. So when he went out, he was 19th. So sabi niya, ano pang gagawin natin? 19th na ako. Pero sabi ng kanyang racing
Just to
engineer,
add,
yeah.
Go.
just to add, hindi lang siya 19th car, he was 30 seconds behind.
Nung 18th
Imagine.
car. Tama ba yun? 18th car, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
From the 18th car, he was 30
Yep.
seconds behind. That's why frustrated ka talaga. Pero his engineer said na huwag ka mag-alala. I think we can do it at least 8. The best result will be at 8 na grid. So kaya yon, nagtuloy-tuloy pa din siya, and well, let's see sa results mamaya.
Yeah, nagtuloy-tuloy pa rin siya. Hindi, ang interestingly, sinabi niya, para bang, sige, push ka lang, try to get to a position where we could get points for the team. Parang something like that. So,
kaya
yun.
Yep.
So, patuloy lang siya. No, so, interesting. No,
Yeah,
interesting.
so basically they were trying to just salvage lang yung the race. Kung
Yeah.
makakuha ng points, good.
Yeah.
Parang ganun na lang yung approach. Pero let's just take it in. Let's take the scenario in. A Haas. It's a Haas.
Yeah.
Katabi ang Mercedes.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd live to see
Kaya nga.
that, honestly. It's a Haas.
Hindi, pero it's just a Haas, but it's
How
powered by a Ferrari engine.
Yeah, exactly. Pero yeah, just appreciating how far Haas has come from their struggles in the past few years, and specifically for this Grand Prix, for the Spanish Grand Prix. We know that the Spanish Grand Prix is usually where ang mga teams natin, they usually bring in a lot of upgrades. In this case, especially Aston Martin, which was and McLaren, which is why I was so looking forward to progress on their fronts.
Okay.
Haas
Almost all
brought
the teams
exactly
brought
0,
Nothing.
no upgrade
Yeah.
for this race. And lap 1, yan ang nakikita natin na action from K-Mag. Just awesome racing. Grabe itong 2022 season, and
Yeah.
it's only the 6th race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sixth
It's only
race.
the 6th race.
Ah.
CP niya yan.
And
So yeah,
to
it's
think
just
kung gaano
mind-blowing, honestly.
kung gaano kaganda yung karera, nasa lap 1 pa lang tayo, ang dami na nating nasabi.
Yeah. Correct,
I know,
correct.
right?
Dami na
I
kasi
know.
So,
Correct.
I know.
well, as the race progressed, marami talagang nangyari,
Yep.
surprisingly, na mga events. Like this one,
This one.
on lap
The usual
lap,
Carlos Sainz.
7.
Lap 7 to.
Lap
The
number
usual
7,
Carlos
yes.
Sainz, yeah. This is on
Turn 4.
turn 4.
The notorious turn 4.
Yeah, siya lang mag-isa, no? Siya lang mag-isa ang with this incident. So, I think he slide down to 13th, hindi ako sigurado. So this was the aerial
The
shot
aftermath.
of that one. And
That's
apparently,
the aftermath.
I was so happy seeing this next when Max Verstappen also
Verstappen.
also
Second
went
turn,
out on
same
turn 4.
approach.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen also.
So,
So
came
turns out
the
on this
same
particular,
turn
it turns
4.
out lang. Oh,
Sige, go.
Lap
it
Andy.
turns out on the same. Oh, sige. Sorry. On this particular day lang talaga, it was really windy apparently dyan sa track na yan. Mainit and windy. So Red Bull in particular, they put it down to a rogue wind gust basically. So nawala yung rear end ni Verstappen. Next thing you know, he's a passenger. But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
seeing so this kind of lets you appreciate no kung gaano talaga ka-sensitive itong F1 cars to a bit of wind. So how dependent they are on the wind, on the air condition, on the air around them. So it's a rolling science experiment really if
Yeah.
if you're into that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But if you're a racer, of course, you get to appreciate kung gaano talaga kahirap mag-drive such high performance cars na on the knife edge basically, lap after lap on the knife edge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for us to laugh pag may nag-spin, pag may pumalpak, pero the science behind these things, it's actually quite mind-boggling.
Yeah. Miles, anything to add on the incident of Verstappen and Sainz on same corner?
Okay. Yes, okay. It was Carlos Sainz who went to the beach earlier and medyo siguro nainggit si Max Verstappen of the Red Bull also went to the
Yeah.
beach on lap
Bubble.
9.
Okay.
Pero yun na nga, they blame it on the gust, on the sudden wind shift of the gustiness of the wind and everything. Actually, if you can hear the team radios, almost lahat ng mga engineers also warn the drivers na merong masama ang hangin, may times na masama ang hangin on the turn 4. So ingat kasi si world champion Max Verstappen umikot na nga doon. So lahat sila nagbabala. Even his teammate Checo Perez was also warned by his race engineer time and time again to exercise caution when approaching turn 4. So yun yung ano. Pero tulad nga, the Spanish Grand Prix was very eventful and isa to sa mga events.
Yep.
Okay, seeing a red car and a Red Bull on the same spot. Diba? Pero isipin mo ha, ito lang. Both of them beached their cars. Okay? But walang safety car. Okay? The
Yep.
whole race, ito lang ha.
Yes, tama. Hindi ko
Paunahan
napansin
ko
yun.
lang.
Yep,
There were
that's
no
right.
safety cars on the race. Walang.
Absolutely.
There were
Yeah,
yellow flags were raised, but only on that sector where they were beached. Okay?
Yep.
Kung saan sila umabot sa gravel, doon lang yung yellow flags eh. After that, everything was green. So
Yeah.
no safety
Yeah.
car. So marami ako ma-discuss regarding the no safety car later part ng ating review.
Yeah.
Catalina
Okay.
circuit.
Yam,
Nice.
anything to add on corner turn 4? Wala na.
Well,
That's it.
wala na kasi when I was watching that, I was really glad Max had that event kasi at least my boy Checo nauna na. And he was hunting down Russell for how many laps? Russell made a
Quite a long
very
time. Yeah, quite a long time.
Hindi,
yeah,
Max
Russell
Verstappen yun.
made it very difficult. No, no, no,
Ah,
no. First
no.
is
That was
Russell
Checo.
and Perez. Oh, sila
Perez.
muna. After that Max Verstappen spin.
Si
Sila
Max
muna ang
na.
dalawang naghabulan. Hindi masyado niya mahabol. Kaya yon si Max pinauna niya. Yun na yung storya. Yes.
So this is now
Let Max
the, ano,
pass.
so this is now the second part where Max Verstappen, due to that,
Yan na.
to that beaching incident, he was trying to catch up George Russell. Unfortunately, there was a problem on Max Verstappen's DRS. Another animated radio conversation. I was pressing so hard,
Oh,
there's no
very.
DRS. I'm pressing it 50 times, something like that. Okay, so Yam, anything to add
Okay.
on that?
Okay, eto na yon. Eto na yon. So, ang nangyari dito is si Perez, pinauna na niya si Max para i-attack ngayon si George. Si George, magaling yung kanyang defensive driving dito. Talagang pinahirapan niya
Yeah, it
si
was
Max
so good.
Verstappen. Pero the Red Bull was really fast considering hindi na-open yung DRS niya, pero he was really close to George. Alam niyo ba kung ilang laps hinabol ni Max dahil nga sira yung DRS niya? It started at lap 13, ended in lap 24. So, sa lap 24, na-overtake niya si George pero nakabawi si George. Imagine, ganun niya pinahirapan si Max kaya yung gulong ni Max talagang pudpud na. That's why nag-pit na si Max and then si Checo ang nag-attack ngayon kay George.
Oh.
So, yan yung mga senaryo doon na masaya. Pinahirapan niya yung current world champion. Magaling si George talaga.
Oh, yeah. Miles, anything to add?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Actually, between the battle between the Red Bull and the Mercedes, okay, lap 18 pa lang, nagsimula na yung away nila between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Okay. Mainit ng ulo ni Max Verstappen, lap 18 pa lang. Kasi hindi niya makuha-kuha si Mercedes eh. So, sobrang init ulo niya. He was hitting the curbs na hindi maganda. Na hindi at the magandang angle. Hindi maganda for the racing line, hindi maganda para sa sasakyan. So, lap 18, medyo hindi na pulido yung kanyang race. And it went on from lap 24 hanggang nag-lap 28. They were really battling it out. Pulihan sila on the corners, nakikita natin sa slides. Papalit-palit ang kanilang pero hindi talaga niya makuha. Dagdag pa doon na wala siyang DRS. So the team decided to box kasi tayo, i-undercut na lang natin si George Russell. Kasi para we could take him out with fresher tires. So he decided to pit Max Verstappen on lap 29. And that was his second pit.
Yeah.
Hindi pa sana siya magpipit noon pero team strategy, need to pit you for undercut. So, sa result, tama naman yung tawag ng team na i-undercut, i-box to pit Max Verstappen with fresher tires.
Yeah, but there was an animated radio talk between Checo Perez or Sergio Perez and the team. He said that, let me through, I have a faster car, something like that. Hindi ko masyado na-gets. Siya ang
I have fresher tires.
A fresher tire.
Fresher tires.
Yeah, So sabi niya, gusto niya i-challenge si George. So,
yes.
Yun yung isa sa mga animated radio conversation from the teams.
Yeah.
And any more to add?
Jong, let me add, Jong. Yung habang ongoing yung battle ni George Russell and ni Max Verstappen, it went on to lap 29 wherein nag-pit na
Si Max.
Hindi natin nakita on lap 27. Lap 27, there was a retirement on the racetrack courtesy of Mr. Charles Leclerc on lap 27.
Yes.
May slide ka ba niyan, Jong? Mukhang wala
Yep.
yata.
Wait.
Sorry
Meron.
about that.
Meron tayong
Meron.
slide yan. There we go.
Okay, na natin. Okay. Lap 27, loss of power. Ang reklamo ni Mr.
That's the only.
Leclerc.
Ayun.
Yes, so they decided to, Charles, box ka na lang, Dong. Sunod na lang ka sa pit, Dong. But you could hear the frustration.
Yeah. Oh no, what happened? What happened? Shit. That's it.
Gulat na gulat
Sayang,
si
sayang.
Leclerc.
Karera
Yeah.
niya.
Yeah.
He was actually,
So,
he was, commanding lead na siya kasi nga, pinahirapan ni George si Max. Kaya talaga, commanding lead. He was on his way na to be the winner of this race. Sayang, undisturbed. Kung undisturbed lang, okay yung issues nito, si Charles sana yun, pero wala eh. Ganyan talaga ang buhay. May
Yeah, that's
reliability
racing.
issues talaga.
Yeah.
That's
racing. So, the
yeah, so
reliability.
for those na gustong so kung yung mga gustong malaman kung exactly what happened, I believe bumigay both ang turbo and ang kanyang MGUH in Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. So if you look back at the replay, if you listen to it, maririnig mo yung turbo kind of spooling downwards, winding downwards as Leclerc lost power. They took the engine back to Maranello overnight.
Oh, okay.
Mabilis ang autopsy. Yep, they shipped it overnight back to Maranello. Mabilis ang autopsy. They quickly found out what the problem was. So they're hoping, Mattia Binotto, Ferrari team principal, is hoping na it's a one-off problem. And I'm sure every other tifosi is hoping it was a one-off problem. Kasi Ferrari, yeah, they're getting a bit of a mixed bag of luck this season.
Yes.
And as we know, as a result of this race, as a result of this retirement, Leclerc is no longer in the lead for the championship points. And we will touch on that later on as well.
And after that, I think is this one where Checo Perez was able to finally get past George Russell. And Checo Perez was, I think he's already leading the race from here. Right, yeah.
Correct.
Yes. After that.
Yeah, he was
Tama
leading the
ito.
race from here. Then, Max Verstappen pitted. When he came out, he was third. Supposedly, hahabulin niya si George, but George pitted as well. So here comes
tama.
Red Bull 1-2, which is Checo Perez and Max Verstappen, and another conversation on the radio to give way for Max Verstappen.
Ooh.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, the two dreaded words of many not Ferrari, two dreaded words of many F1 fans: team orders.
Yeah. And we heard one.
Yeah.
Team orders.
Yeah, Myles, go.
Okay, the team orders came from on lap 49. Okay. Because tulad nga na sinabi mo, Jong, kailangan bago lang nag-pit si Max Verstappen, so fresher tires. Pero may pace pa si Checo Perez. He could still move on. They could still battle it out.
Yeah.
Pero they couldn't. Pero syempre, team comes first. If they battle it out, they would strain, papahirapan nila yung makina nila, baka hindi na magamit. Or, worst case scenario, they would crash. Baka sa turn 4, liligo na naman sa beach si Max Verstappen. Kaya, huwag na nating i-push. Checo, sad to say, you are the new Barrichello.
Yeah.
for
Ooh.
Yeah.
2022. Sorry.
That's too early
Ouch.
too
say
early
that.
to tell. So
Aray.
I think
Hindi din.
the
Kasi,
makings of
oh,
Barrichello.
yeah.
The
Kasi,
makings of a number 2.
sinabi niya it's unfair eh. Ewan ko kung narinig nyo. May sinabi
Exactly.
siyang unfair eh. Sabi it's
Yep.
unfair.
Checo protested the team
Yeah, di
order.
ba? Oh.
He
So sinabi niya,
protested the team order. Nagreklamo siya. Kasi, I mean, Myles brings up a very good side of the argument. I would now like to bring out the other side of the argument. Number
Alright.
one, it's only the 6th race of the season. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this smells like Barrichello. This smells like Barrichello and Schumacher all over again.
yeah.
Isipin nyo, halos same scenario. Early on in the season, team orders kagad sila, pinauna si Schumacher. So this is almost a mirror image of that situation. The other thing is there's team orders, and there's also the counter to that, which is let them race, diba?
Yeah.
So it's so I don't know if nakita natin ang benefit. Max won the race. He's in the championship. Sige, that's fine. But really, do you really need to do that on the 6th race of the
Sixth
season?
race, yeah. Correct.
6th race pa lang. We have so many races this year on the calendar.
Yes.
Hopefully, walang maalis for any reason. But yeah, let them race. That's my take on it. Let them race. These are race car drivers. They're not robots. And they know what they're doing. Checo, ang linis ni Checo mag-race. Max
Yeah,
is
yes.
very mature in his driving now. He became world champion because of his mature driving. This is no longer the Max Verstappen of yesteryear na crash here, crash there, di ba? They're both
Aggressive.
mature drivers at the very top of their game. Let them race.
And it would be a
That's my
very
take.
good ano din if sakali kung if Checo Perez really do perform well, then they have a
It would have been
ano,
awesome to
a-
watch them battle.
a back
It
to
would have
back
been
more or less,
epic.
but yeah.
Oh, it would have been epic watching these two fight at the front. That would have been so good to see.
Yeah.
Pero team orders, what can you do, di ba?
Yeah.
Okay. next
Let me add
slide.
something rin.
Sige, go.
Okay.
Let me add something regarding the team orders of Checo Perez. If you've seen in the internet, in YouTube, or somewhere else, yung pakikipag-usap ni Checo Perez and his race engineer. Okay, parang they are trying to explain to Checo what is happening, ano yung pace ni Max on this sector, ano ang pace ni George Russell on this sector. The race engineer was briefing him. And after the race, parang when lap 49 came, when the team order call came na to let Max through, try explain ng kanyang race engineer na why do we need to do this. Sabi nilang ni Perez, okay, it's for the team, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Yun ang last
Correct.
sentence.
Yeah.
Yun ang last sentence.
I've heard
We'll
that.
talk later.
Yeah, talk later.
Malamang lalabas na yung kanyang sama ng
Ay,
loob.
oh,
And
definitely.
also,
So,
when the race was finished, okay, Christian Horner came in on the radio telling Checo Perez na ganito, ganyan, we have to let Max, you did a good job, ganyan, everything, siguro pampaano na lang kay Checo Perez, hope you
Palubag-loob
understand.
na lang.
Pampalubag-loob. So, sabi naman ni Checo Perez, okay, for the team, good finish for the team, points finish pa rin, marami tayong points for the team, and we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Yun yung ano ni. Actually,
Yeah,
ako naawa ako
over the years,
Sergio
no?
Perez.
Ay, oh, kahit na ako. I can feel
Naawa
it.
kay Sergio
Oh,
Perez.
of course.
Yeah.
Of
Kasi
course. Tapos
if
over the years
people-
talaga he's developed na. Sayang talaga. So sorry, Miles.
And
Go ahead.
also kasi, ang ano ko lang kasi kay Checo Perez kasi, he's an excellent driver. Okay, he came from different teams. He came from McLaren to Racing Point. And we all know, if people are following F1 for the past few years, Checo Perez, dahil Checo Perez was driving for Racing Point back then, na dating Force India na into the F1 team, went into receivership. Wala nang may-ari wala nang clear owner ang kanilang team. So he found ways na buhayin ang
Yeah.
F1 team through ang Force India naging Racing Point, okay? Racing Point through Lance
Stroll,
Stroll's
father.
big pockets. Okay, so nabuhay muli ang
Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah.
ang F1 team niya. So he got a seat. But a few years ago, kailangan na niyang mawala sa Racing Point na he built, okay? Technically, he built Racing Point. Nawala yun dahil ipapasok yung...
Yeah, he saved Racing Point, no? So talagang
Yes, he
a
saved
bit
Racing
tragic na. Yeah,
Tragic,
tapos at the end of
Inalis siya.
a couple of years later, yun lang.
Then, dahil magaling siya mag-drive, excellent driver si Sergio Perez, buti na lang, kinuha siya ng Red Bull. Okay.
Yeah.
Pero alam ng lahat na he got in Red Bull to replace Alex Albon, who was not the wingman that Christian Horner wanted a wingman to be.
Yeah.
So he got Sergio
Correct.
Perez as a wingman for Max Verstappen. Kasi yun ang ng Red Bull to win. Whatever it takes. We need to win. We need to be, even if it gives you wings or ano man. Diba? So anyway,
We need
so,
to win.
dahil even though Sergio Perez could really make it on the Spanish Grand Prix, parang utos ni boss utos ni Christian Horner, parang malaki
Wala akong magawa.
utang na loob ko.
Oo.
Yung utang na loob ko dito.
Wala siyang
Pero,
choice talaga.
Kaya nga,
Sayang lang.
we'll talk later na lang. We'll talk later. But sige lang, di natin alam. It's still race number 6 and there's still more races to go.
Yeah, babawi yan. That's my boy, Checo. Go, go, go.
Checo.
Babawi yung
Okay,
mini-start
okay.
race natin.
Yep. Okay, so
Next
this was
one.
it. So this was it. Then the retirement of
Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc, and of course, here we go. This is one of my favorite part of the race where we didn't notice that Lewis Hamilton suddenly found himself climbing, trying to catch on Valtteri Bottas. So this was the sorry. Sino nga tong isa pang teammate ni Valtteri Bottas is
That's
Esteban Ocon.
That's
Ano?
what-
That's Valtteri
yun.
Bottas.
no,
Valtteri Bottas yun, Jong.
Joe Guan yun. Pero ito si
Joe Guan
Bottas
yun.
ito.
Joe Guan.
Yeah, tama. This
Yeah.
is Bottas.
That's
So
Bottas and Carlos Sainz.
yeah,
That's
Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
Tama.
That's,
So-
that's close to the front na actually.
Yeah, this is close to the front, and suddenly we found Lewis Hamilton, who was a while ago asking for a retirement just for him to be able to save his engine, but suddenly found himself in a very good pace, even got the fastest lap as well. After changing tire shot for the last time, he was able to get the fastest lap. So, and suddenly found Valtteri Bottas and Carlos Sainz. So, ito. So, ang team-
Itong photo na ito, Jong.
yeah,
Doon daw. Balik mo.
yeah,
Yung photo na yan, Sainz was running 4th, Valtteri 5th, and then Lewis
Lewis
Hamilton
6th.
is on
On
6th.
sixth, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, na-overtake din niya dito si Valtteri Bottas. So, it was a battle between Sainz and Hamilton for the 4th
yeah, for the fourth.
position.
The fourth
Yeah.
spot.
And,
That was
Yan.
lap 60.
yeah. And eventually, he, parang ginawa ni Hamilton, he was able to get a bigger lead kasi nag-pit yata si Sainz, tama ba? O he just left him? I forgot what happened on the but
Yeah, actually. But Jong, the battle between Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton on lap 60. Lewis Hamilton easily, ito lang it's
Easily,
my
yeah.
opinion, he easily took Carlos Sainz. He easily took Carlos Sainz on lap 60.
Mhm.
yeah.
okay? He easily took it. Kayang-kaya talaga ng Mercedes with the new upgrades and everything. Kayang-kaya nilang i-battle ang Ferrari. So, it's evident that Lewis Hamilton took Carlos Sainz. Isipin mo ba naman, kahit sabihin natin na they have the same car, but a 7-time world champion versus a masabi
Nobody.
natin sophomore.
Sophomore,
Hindi naman
yeah.
nobody. Sophomore or junior, ano ba ba? Diba? Parang third year high school. Parang fourth year na ako. Ikaw, freshman ka pa lang. Oh, ayan.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
to
yeah.
compare the skills or the talents of both, okay, Lewis Hamilton really has an advantage. Given their new upgrades, he easily took Carlos Sainz on lap 60.
Yeah.
But on lap 65, Lewis Hamilton, through team orders na rin, na wag mo nang i-push kasi we need to conserve the engine.
Hindi, at saka baka din ma-DNF.
Malayo na tayo.
Kasi baka ma-DNF din.
DNF race.
Playing
No
safe
need
na
to
sila at that point.
So, he easily gave up the spot for total, we're here for the points. Okay naman, nakita naman natin magaling na yung car natin. So,
Yeah, and
wag mo na i-battle yung bata.
Yeah.
Kanya ring lugar to, kaya pagbigyan mo na.
yeah. At saka there was also a cooling problem with the car of George Russell. So I think that's the same problem Lewis Hamilton is experiencing, where he mentioned that there was a notice about a cooling problem. That was during the battle between Max Verstappen. So I guess that's the same scenario. He was trying to preserve the engine, not to score a DNF. They have a very good position despite he came out on the pits on 19th place on lap number 2, I think. So, and now we found himself on 5th place. Tama, di ba? 5th place.
Yes,
Yeah,
from 19th to 5th.
From 19th to 5th. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yun
wow.
ang final
From no man's land,
Impressive.
actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
From no man's land to fifth.
From no man's land to 5th. Yeah.
From
That's
almost a
impressive
minute
drive.
from the
Impressive
leader.
recovery.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
really
That's why-
Go, Miles.
That's why he was voted driver of the day.
Yeah. So
Very
we all-
very impressive run from Lewis Hamilton on the
yeah.
Spanish.
So we have that later. We have the drive of the day. So we call it the drive of the day. Let's go to
sorry,
that
Jong.
later. That's okay. It's okay. No problem. We voted. Kaya nga, we have to discuss the vote. You were not on the group chat. So Andy, sige lang.
Kaya nga eh.
We'll
Sorry
talk about
about
that.
that.
It's
We'll
okay.
get there.
It's
We'll get
okay.
there.
We'll
Sorry
get there.
about that.
So now, this is the championship point standing. As you can see, Verstappen right now leading Leclerc, who scored a DNF, 6 points. Yamboy's boy, Checo Perez, is on 3rd. And of course, George Russell is on 5th. Carlos Sainz is on 5th. And Hamilton, surprisingly, on 6th. Lando Norris, the lone McLaren on the top 10, surprisingly on 7th. Despite na nauna pa yung si Daniel Ricciardo, I think Daniel Ricciardo. What happened to Daniel Ricciardo, Miles? I haven't,
Okay.
Danny Rick.
Speaking of McLaren.
Si Miles bahala nito.
Okay. The McLaren's race during the Spanish Grand Prix last weekend is somehow like a parang happy, sad na nangyari. Okay. Unahin natin sa happy. Happy because Lando Norris placed we'll start with the qualifying. Lando Norris easily could have been to Q3 except for the track limits wherein his time was erased. So he was eliminated from Q3.
Yeah.
So he started on 11th on the grid. But he finished on 8th yata. Yeah, he finished 8th on the Spanish Grand Prix. And if you could see, Lando Norris did not participate in any post-interviews during the Spanish Grand Prix because he was suffering from tonsillitis.
Oh,
Okay. During the race pa lang,
Yep.
during the race, he had a very high fever, he had body malay, ano tawag nun di? Body malay? Oh,
Yep.
body
Malay.
malay.
Malay
Malay.
is Malay.
Actually,
Depends on
Actually-
your region. But yeah,
Okay,
that
sorry
Lando
about that.
Norris.
go.
Hats out. Hats off to Lando Norris, no, for driving the race he did in the car that he had in the McLaren that's underperforming, in the conditions that were present that day. Sobrang mainit, very dry conditions. Fighting an active case of tonsillitis, that itself is a very impressive feat. So yeah, hats off to Lando Norris for pulling that off. Bilib na bilib ako sa kanya. On the other hand, Daniel Ricciardo, nakailang pit stops ba sila? 4? I think Ricardo had a four stop race because they were trying all sets of tires, and apparently he just could not find the grip on any of them.
Yeah.
So that's why he was falling. He had fallen so far behind by the end of the race.
finished 12.
He finished 12. So much potential na sayang for Daniel Ricciardo in this race. Yeah, it's just one bad race after the other for the Honey Badger, and it makes you think,
Honey
what's
Badger.
next? Where does he go from here, diba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Ay,
I
nako.
want the Honey Badger to win.
Yeah,
I
of course.
want Danny Rick to win.
Yeah.
Especially next week
Yeah.
kasi Monaco. Pero
Hopefully,
let's be, yeah.
Yeah, going back to
we
Imola.
want to see more shoeys. Okay. Jong,
Yeah,
let me
so,
add, nasa post-race na tayo, Jong, di ba? Parang
Yep.
nanalo na tayo. Tapos ng Grand Prix, okay? Let me also take this opportunity to may slide ka ba, Jong, ng final results ng Spanish Grand Prix?
I
I
don't
want to
have.
point out something. Okay.
Okay.
Since we don't have, okay. Fernando Alonso,
Some
dahil
insight.
he started 20th on the grid because he need to change his engine or some parts of the engine, so he started last on the Spanish Grand
Okay.
Prix. But he finished 9th. Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, I have.
Ginamitan
Sige, go.
Ginamit ni Fernando Alonso ang pagiging world champion niya before. He drove his Alpine from 20th to 9th. And that is also one very remarkable feat for
Yeah.
a former world champion. Yes, Alonso. And also, sayang, makita sa natin, Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah, 6.
Ito.
Hindi, hindi ano
Yun,
to,
no?
Jong? Points naman.
Hindi, this is the result.
Okay,
Hindi,
yeah.
yan yun.
No, that's the
Fernando Alonso.
classification,
Fernando Alonso,
yeah.
9.
9th, yeah.
Tulad nga nung sabi ko nung Saturday during the qualifying, bantayan nyo si Valtteri Bottas, di ba? So look at Valtteri Bottas. He was 6th. Okay. He finished 6th on a Ferrari-powered Alfa Romeo. But he could have placed higher pa sana. Because
Sa strategy.
if only Alfa Romeo employed a good strategy. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, on lap 50 and 51, he has a 20 second gap from the car behind him. They could have easily boxed him to put on fresher tires so he could battle more people in the front. Okay, that's 20 seconds. He wouldn't lose a place.
Yeah.
So
It's a free pit
ma-retain
stop,
pa rin niya.
basically.
So he could have finished on P4 or in P5. Sayang. If only they have
Makes you wonder, no? Ano kaya, what was the team
strategy.
thinking at that point, no? Bakit di nila, why didn't it bring him in for that one
Yes.
stop?
Wala namang kaya nga.
Sayang,
Sayang yung ano. Sayang. He
Sayang.
could have brought in more points for Alfa Romeo. And speaking of Alfa Romeo, and ang ating kaibigan si Jong Uy, once
Yeah, Joe.
again. Oh,
Joe.
ang pareng Joe, anong nangyari? Pangatlong DNF mo na po ito. And ito lang. Let us not Joe Guan Yu. It has his third. He got 3 DNFs, pero it's not his fault. Okay, it was nobody's fault. It was the engine's fault. It was the circumstances fault. Kaya siya na DNF. So, masasabi natin bad luck. Should have worn tissues,
so
underwear.
that wasn't on Joe. That was on the car.
Yes, that was on the car.
On the
And
team.
also, let me add, tingnan nyo, si Esteban Ocon on number 7, the first
Oh yeah,
Alpine
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Esteban.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, he did good.
Impressive.
Okay, he did good. Especially, ang one of pinaka-impressive na nangyari sa kanya during the race. Kasi on the first 6 laps of the Spanish Grand Prix, he overtook 3 cars. 3
Yeah,
cars ang
Esteban Ocon,
overtaker niya.
First lap pa lang.
Naka-overtake siya, first lap pa lang. No, on the first 6 laps. Overtake siya out
The first-
of merit, not because dahil may na-aksidente or ano. He overtook 3 cars on not considering yung mga pumunta sa beach ng So, another for Mr. Ocon who did well on that. Sorry, I have to check my notes.
Yeah.
Yun lang.
Kasi ang dami nangyari in that race. So, it's hard to keep track of everything that happened. Kasi yun nga, di ba? Spanish Grand Prix, like we've been saying, like we've been saying at the start of the of this session, the Spanish Grand Prix has not been the most exciting race throughout the years, except 2022.
This race.
Yes.
Kaya
So,
it makes me wonder.
So you have to take notes to keep up kasi talagang ang dami nangyari. So,
Kasi,
on that note,
I really... Sige, go.
go. Grabe talaga delay, no? Anyway, so Myles, I believe you have something else that you would like to add to this conversation before we present our choices for the driver of the day.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Ito na lang. On my point, okay, I really like watching Grand Prix on racetracks. Purposely built racetracks and not some
Street
street
circuits.
Okay. So, kasi just like the Spanish Grand Prix, just like the Circuit de Catalunya, so very good racetrack. Wherein dito nga nagwe-winter testing, dito nga nagte-testing ang mga sasakyan. Okay. And aside from Bahrain, kailangan nila mag-Bahrain kasi doon galing kanilang gasolina eh. So, kailangan nila for for entertainment sa mga kaibigan natin doon. Anyway, so next race is Monaco. Even though I don't like street circuits, but it's still Monaco. It's the pinnacle, not the best track for F1 right now. Right now, considering their new cars, not best. Kasi very slow corners and short straights and short and slow corners.
And for sure,
I know someone else who doesn't like Monaco.
who? I know.
Starts with C. Starts with C and ends with
L.
Leclerc.
Leclerc. It's
Charles Leclerc.
It's his home Grand Prix.
It's his home Grand Prix. He's a Monegasque. Yan ang tawag sa mga
It's his
taga
home
Monaco,
Grand
the
Prix
Monegasque. It's his home Grand Prix.
His home Grand Prix.
How many
and he knows
times has Leclerc finished?
In
Zero.
Monaco.
How many times has Leclerc finished a Monaco Grand Prix
Yeah.
lately? For those who don't know,
Anyway, not to give an
0.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has had rotten luck sa Monaco. So
Okay.
next race, I hope he improves on the next race kasi that's gonna
Okay.
stick with him for the rest of his life.
Yeah. So obviously
Jong,
Red Bull is on the lead
let me
right
add
now.
something too.
Yeah, go, Miles.
No, let me add. We're talking about Monaco. Okay. There was an interview made by Lando Norris. Okay, he was interviewed. I don't know if it was Sky Sports F1 or some other media outfit. But ito Jong, magugustuhan mo tong maririnig. Sinabi ni Lando Norris, Mercedes is the fastest car on slow corners. So,
Interesting.
Monaco having the one of the slowest corners on the racing calendar, they might do well on that. Considering they have no more side pods on their cars, they somehow eliminated their problems, their porpoising ones.
I
And
think
Monaco, ang Monaco ba high downforce track or I don't think so.
Yeah, it should be a high downforce track kasi yun nga, it's a slow track, di ba? And apart from Mercedes, one other team thrives on high downforce. Ferrari.
yeah.
So
Malakas
we
din
have
Ferrari.
seen the performance of Ferrari on slower tracks. They outpace the Red Bulls by quite a bit of a margin. So this will be a very interesting race for Sainz and Leclerc, provided they don't crash.
And a good thing, there's no gravel in
Ah,
Monaco.
you're
I don't know if it's a good thing
But
or a bad thing.
going straight to the wall.
Well,
Straight to the wall or
it's a
straight
bad
to the
thing for
water.
Charles. Oh, bad thing for Charles because last year he went straight to the wall, and then 2 weeks earlier, di ba?
Minalas
During the
talaga.
classic F1,
Yeah.
he also backed up the wall. Using
Well,
To
the
his defense, I bet
Niki
wasn't his fault.
Lauda Ferrari, di ba?
Niki Lauda's car. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
So,
next
but
week.
to
Yeah.
yeah. So just very quickly to Charles' defense, para sa mga Ferrari fans dyan, who probably already know this, the incident with Niki Lauda's irreplaceable car, that wasn't Charles's fault. Yeah, that wasn't Charles's fault. The brakes gave out. So if you think about it, no, he may have very well saved the rest of the car kasi yun nga, yung likod yung nauna eh. What if yung front? Diba? What if yung sides or anything? So because he was still able to save the car and bring it back to the pits, diba? So that shows na talagang it mostly intact pa yung kotse. So, but still, it's kind of heartbreaking to watch something like that happen. But still, that's
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay.
Yung sasakyan na yun, kasing tanda na yun ng mga kakilala ko. That car is as old as some people that I know.
Yeah. All right. So,
1974.
Miles, I know the Yamboy's vote. So, I know Andy's vote. So, what is your vote for the drive of the race? Who is the
Ano to?
driver?
A driver of the race.
The
Okay.
drive,
Quiz.
the best drive of the race. So, who's the sino yung driver na yun?
Well, for me, okay, not to just to go with siguro sa lahat. Okay, I will go with Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. So, Andy was going with George Russell. So, I think okay naman yung kay George Russell because he did that how many times yan? From lap, sinabi mo kanina yan, di ba?
Lap 13 ended up in lap 24.
Yeah, lap 24.
Tapos
Yeah.
tapos finally, pero pinahirapan talaga niya before that. Pinahirapan din niya si Checo eh. Pinahirapan
Yeah.
niya. So
It was,
kaya
yeah. It was really so funny kasi he has been doing the same strategy every time he goes near to the first corner. Diba? The same
Yes.
strategy all the way.
the same
Out
screen.
siya, labas siya ganun kasi yung first corner kasi medyo tricky eh. Medyo parang may semi-chicane na tipong gaganon ka then. The next corner, if you hit the inner curve of the racing line, then you go pass through to the other corner on the inner side. So, yun eh. Binibigay niya, ginagano niya. So, it's really a good strategy, but of course at the end of the day, the guy who basically started kinda, 'di ba? Kasi lap number 2, a 19th position was able to get fourth place sana, but he was due to engine problem naging naging fifth. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton is our drive of the race. The whole drive of Lewis Hamilton is the drive of the race. So that's it.
It was a remarkable remarkable drive for Sir Lewis Hamilton. Considering he was in the no man's land na, talagang alam mo, frustrated ka na, but he still pushed on, push lang. And then fourth sana, kung hindi lang nagkaroon ng overheating issues. And also during that time, during the race, Barcelona had a heat wave din. So kaya hindi lang mainit yung makina, mainit pa yung atmosphere, kaya yun yung nakabigay ng malaking factor sa mga temperatures ng cars. Kaya yun. Congratulations. My tribute to Petronas for Mercedes for a job well done, and I hope
have that too. Yeah.
Toto, tawagan kita mamaya, Toto, ha. Sana magtuloy-tuloy na kayo, ha. Hindi na pwede yung text ko yan, text. Sana tuloy-tuloy na para mas masaya. Mas masaya ang karera pag maraming mabibilis na auto ba.
Yeah. Myles, nagtatanong ka kung anong premyo. I-text ko lang si Luis mamaya, kunin niya yung premyo dito sa bahay. All right, so guys, before we leave,
Andy's news.
We have a news from our friend right here, Andy. Let's listen to this one. These are some gossips, do you know? All right, wait.
What's up, race fans? Time for this week's dose of F1 news. First up, we have Lewis Hamilton spotted getting a bit too close to a Red Bull's rear wing during Parc Fermé conditions. A photo has surfaced online allegedly showing Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton walking, or rather squeezing himself past the rear wing of Sergio Perez's Red Bull during Parc Fermé conditions after last Sunday's Spanish Grand Prix. It can be remembered that current drivers' champion Max Verstappen was fined a hefty 50,000 euros just last year for touching the rear wing of Hamilton's Mercedes during Parc Fermé. Now, all this wing touching wouldn't be such a big deal if it wasn't for Article 2.5.1 of the FIA's International Sporting Code, which dictates that inside Parc Fermé, only the assigned officials may enter. No operation, checking, tuning, or repair is allowed unless authorized by the same officials or by the applicable regulations. Later that particular day, Hamilton's rear wing failed scrutineering, prompting the stewards to look deeper into Verstappen's violation. They concluded that Max did touch, but had not applied any force to the wing, thus not contributing to its later failure. However, Max did violate Parc Fermé rules, and he was therefore fined. In Hamilton's defense, he was apparently not intentionally touching the wing. He was seen squeezing himself past the rear wing of the Red Bull on his way back from a routine doping test on the paddock. F1 organizers are yet to comment. Up next, Christian Horner delivers a grim warning for the end of this season and the FIA. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner warns that some of the current teams may not be able to complete this season given the sharp rise in inflation, making pre-approved budget cap impossible to comply with. This year, F1 introduced a budget cap for all teams at 140 million US dollars. However, with the damage that COVID has done over the 2 years, along with the war in Ukraine, Inflation has taken up significantly more of a team's budgets, especially with freight, which has apparently quadrupled in cost. Horner adds, it's not just about big teams now. It's the teams in the middle of the field that are really struggling with the inflation rate that we're seeing could even get worse in the second half of the year. Horner believes the FIA and F1 can still find a solution to this problem, saying, in many respects, it's an arranged marriage between the two. You rely on the regulator and the commercial rights holder to work closely, and I think there's a desire for the two of them to do that. Obviously, the new president, Mohammed bin Sulayem, is determined to make his own mark and has got some good ideas and some visions he has for the FIA. With Stefano Domenicali and the Liberty Media guys, it needs to go hand in hand with their desire to grow the business and develop the business. And finally, Sebastian Vettel, the latest F1 driver victimized by thieves. Four-time champ Sebastian Vettel had a weekend he'd rather forget, as apart from their misfortunes on the track, Aston Martin has released a statement saying Vettel also had a bag stolen from him on Monday in Barcelona. Vettel apparently used his iPhone to track the earphones which were in his bag, but by the time he found the earphones, they'd been abandoned and his bag is still missing. Seb joins the unenviable list of drivers victimized by theft, including Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc, who both had expensive Richard Mille watches stolen from them in separate incidents. Here's hoping Seb finds that bag again.
All right, interesting news, Dick. First is the yung inflation. Yeah, I think that's the this is one of the the problems right now with motorsports racing. Oh, nice cap there, Yamboy.
Yeah, found it in the baul.
Yeah, found it in the bowl. So, of course, we all know that Formula One racing is really very expensive, especially the traveling and, of course, the logistical a nightmare that F1 is dealing with. And I've seen and attended races like that. I've seen those trucks at the side na sinasakay ng eroplano ng mga yun. So grabe talaga. So I hope that they could be able to find a way for them to to deal with the finances so that motorsports will still go on a cheaper budget so that these teams, siyempre naman yung tatlong malaking team na yung magkakarera, paano yung mga maliliit, di ba?
Yeah. I hope magtuloy-tuloy and I hope maabutan pa natin o baka panood tayo.
Makapunta pa tayo, no?
Because setting up this studio, I was able to gather all my F1 memorabilia back in 2012 when the first international trip of the racing line. It was me and Jong during the time. We were sponsored by Malaysian Tourism Board to go to Sepang, Malaysia for the 2012 Petronas Grand Prix in Sepang, Malaysia.
Yeah.
So this year meron tayong Singapore Grand Prix, di ba?
Oh.
So to quote my favorite cook, Ninong Rai, STB, Singapore Tourism Board. Bakit naman?
Yeah. Singapore is saan ba Singapore? Yun.
Nawala.
October. Yeah, October.
October pa.
Yeah, October. Oh, plenty of time. STB, plenty of time. Yes. Just give me a call.
Dapat sabay tayong
there's
apat magsabi, no? Baka naman.
Yeah.
And Davao Singapore flights are daily now through Singapore Airlines. So, Singapore Airlines, okay naman.
Baka naman.
All right.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right, guys. I think we're done. Nice, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice chatting. Very nice
Super.
place as well. Okay. So before we go, ikaw unahin ko. Ikaw pinakamalayo eh.
Kasi matutulog na ako. Duty
Yeah.
ko mamaya 8 a.m.
Oh.
Ano na dito? 1:44 na dito. So I
Yeah.
have just a few hours of sleep. Anyway, nursing is life, di ba?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining our session tonight. We hope you have a pleasant, wonderful rest of your evening, day, afternoon, kung saan man kayo. Again, this is the Racing Lines, the Purple Sector. We have this little talk show of ours every time there's a race weekend, a race weekend. So again, like I've been telling everyone since the start, join the conversation. Feel free to join the conversation. Shout out, kahit ano gusto niyo sabihin sa baba. Sali kayo. Everyone's welcome on this little endeavor of ours, and it's completely free. So,
Of course.
everyone, drive safe and stay safe. Okay.
All right.
This is Andrew
Wow.
from New Zealand. Good night.
Yeah. Huwag ko nang umalis, ha? Miles.
Okay, once again, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Andy, Yamboy, and Jong sa magandang discussion sa nangyaring Spanish Grand Prix in Catalonia circuit. And hopefully, come this weekend, we'll be watching Monaco Grand Prix. And hopefully next week, kikita tayo ulit Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. We are streamed live in Facebook and in YouTube. So you could catch us there. So see you next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m.
For the Monaco Grand Prix review. Yum! Congrats on the new studio.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I had a lot of fun setting this up, and well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us for tonight's the Purple Sector, and I hope you learned something today. And if not, I hope you were entertained, and many more races to come. This is just the 6th race of the season. So marami pa tayong pagsasama-samahan ng mga Wednesdays. And thank you, Andy, Myles, and Jong. And well, welcome to my studio right here.
Marami pang improvement yan, di ba? Sabi mo, marami pang improvement
Marami pa
kami.
ito. Yes. May coming pa. So every week it will have a new setup.
look.
Ganon. New look every week.
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
guys, gentlemen. Yeah, Myles, Andy, thank you so much for joining us tonight in the Purple Sector. Again, we're gonna see you next Wednesday because it's gonna be the Monaco Grand Prix race review. So we'll see you again next Wednesday. Maraming salamat. So guys, good night, and if you're driving back, ingat po sila, and we'll see you again next Wednesday.
See
Bye.
you next time.
Guys,
Good
see you.
night.
Down to the season, the braking zone, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's Lance Stroll's car.